Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about yellow spots in your yard. And so it's going to be a fun topic. And for those of you that are just joining, my name is Crystal. I'm Dog Psychology and Training Center. And today's topic, gosh, I'm not even sure if you guys can see me yet, but today's topic is going to be about yellow spots in your yard, if your dog's urine is killing your grass, and then what you can do to hopefully prevent that and save your grass and not be forced to have to walk your dog out of your yard so that its urine doesn't kill your yard. So I think some of these are still loading, so you may not see me just yet. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes so I can try to get everyone on here. Let's see. This looks like it's still loading. I don't see the video stream. Oh, there we are. Okay, I think I'm live. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. For those of you just getting on, my name is Crystal Neerman. I'm with the Dog Psychology and Training Center. And today's topic is going to be about yellow spots in your yard. And this topic was inspired by Carol, who commented on our last about her statement or questions were questions on yellow spots / dead grass from pea stains. Have tried pills, which are supposed to neutralize the urine, but minimally successful. And you're right, the pills don't really work. The supplements that you can add to their kibble don't really work. And the reason is that kibble is not easy for dogs to digest. It's not natural for their bodies to digest. There's a lot of fillers and other chemicals in kibble to preserve it that our grass is not fond of. And so all of this causes dead spots in our grass. And I totally understand the concern of not wanting to have dead yard and understanding the stress and anxiety and frustration that letting your dog potty on walks can cause. So if you want to know more about that topic and you missed our video last week, please go back to last week's Facebook Live and you can see what specifically causes stress, frustration in your dog by allowing them to potty on walks. But yes, they can cause yellow spots. So my solutions, I have a couple different ideas. So kibble diets that I have seen, the dogs have just killed the grass. Our grass is really splotchy to begin with because we have thick tree cover above our grass. So we have lots of dead leaves that fall. And so I don't know specifically what kibbles work and don't work because we have so many dogs come through here on different kibbles. But I will say you definitely try some higher brand, premium brand kibbles. So I'm not talking like Blue Buffalo. Any brand that has commercial advertising, to me, my analogy, or I don't want to call it an analogy, it's kind of factual, but the more money they spend on advertising, the less money I believe they actually put towards the quality of their kibble. And that's just because money, right? They got to put their money somewhere. And if it's going to go to advertising to make them more money, they're not going to have a whole lot of money left over to spend on testing and quality control and all of that stuff. So some of the bigger premium brands that do not have commercial advertising, so you're not going to be able to watch TV and figure out what to feed your dog, but you might actually have to go to a premium pet store or boutique. So I'm not talking about Petco or PetSmart, but an actual premium pet store or boutique, because those owners supply the best of the best, and they should train, most of them do, train their staff on the benefits and differences of these kibble versus Pedigree, Blue Buffalo. Oh goodness, I can't even think of all of them anymore. But they have more specifics on those premium brands and the differences therein. And so one that comes to mind is Fromm. That's FROMM. And that is one that a lot of our colleagues that don't feed raw, or if somebody doesn't want to feed raw, will recommend this brand as a kibble alternative. to raw because it is of the kibble quality, the best of the best. And I'll talk about raw diet here in a second too. And then another supplement that you could try is adding Wendy Volhard's, I can't think of the name of it, but it's just a powdered supplement that you can add to their kibble, and it's supposed to supplement everything the kibble lacks. So it's not feeding raw, but it's like the best you can do without feeding raw. And so you just add this powder to their kibble and put a little bit of water on top, and that's good enough. And so that I've heard some good things about as well. But every person who has fed a raw kibble, a balanced raw kibble, contradicting myself here, a raw diet, not kibble, a raw meat, vegetable diet without any kibble, a balanced raw diet has not had any dead spots in the grass. The stool that comes out of your dog actually breaks down much faster and absorbs into the earth instead of staying formed and in your yard for weeks at a time. Raw fed kibble stool should start to break down and turn into earth in a matter of days, definitely less than a week though. And if the diet's well balanced. And so that is something that is more healthier for your yard. And the pH in the body is more balanced. And so the urine doesn't come out as acidic and burning the grass, killing the grass. And so again, having a balanced raw diet is also my go-to recommendation to save your yard, to keep it looking pretty, and to keep your dog not only healthy, but living the longest they can live. My goodness, pregnancy brain has got me all over the place. Living the longest they can live. I personally believe dogs do not live long enough. And so every minute that I can get with my dogs, I'm gonna get. And so feeding raw is the best way to do that. If you've missed our previous Facebook Lives about the benefits of feeding raw, and I have a calculator, a spreadsheet, I have an ebook that you can download. And in the ebook, there is a link to download my calculator, my raw feeding calculator. And you just got to plug in your dog's name and weight and their body type. So if they're underweight, overweight, or at their ideal weight, and it'll formulate exactly how much raw meats to feed, the varieties that you need. And then also if you plan to do veggies, or maybe you're not ready to do raw meat, but you want to do the salad, because feeding your dog a salad of dark leafy greens and orange and yellow vegetables can actually decrease your dog's cancer risk by 90%. So if you just want to do the salad, again, you just plug in your dog's name and number or weight, and then their body type, and it'll tell you exactly how much to replace a quarter of their kibble. So you're going to take out a quarter of their kibble. It's going to tell you exactly how much to feed of those dark leafy greens, orange and yellow vegetables, and a tiny amount of fruit, preferably berries, because they are the lowest in sugar and highest in antioxidants. But that's all in that raw feeding book. So I will post a link to that as well in the comments to our previous lives that has the link to the book. What else do I got? Okay, so if your dog is pottying in the grass and you don't want to figure out a solution as far as feeding raw, switching their diet, or anything like that, there is still a way to have your dog not potty on walks, potty only in your backyard or front yard like us. We only let our dog potty in the front yard. And so here's a couple over-the-counter things that you can purchase at any pet store. One of them is my favorite. It's called the Potty Post. It's this yellow post that stinks, and it basically smells like a dog toilet. Not like as bad as you think. It's just pheromones. But you you stake it into your ground, and you only leave it about a couple inches up, and that way your lawnmower and stuff can go over it, or you can go around it. But basically what this does is it turns this area of your yard into a doggy toilet. And so even adult dogs, this may specifically for puppies, but even adult dogs, when we have used this or recommended it to clients, they have put it in the farthest corner of their yard, and they give their dog this 12-foot by 12-foot area, and they stake this potty post right in the middle of it. that's your dog's new toilet, and they're not allowed to potty anywhere else in the yard. And so there is some training involved, and I'll talk about those steps here in a second. But that potty post is a great way to teach your dog that there is a new toilet in the yard. The whole yard is no longer a toilet, and this is where you're going to go. The other solution, which is not my favorite, but we don't have our potty post in right now. We sold our last one, so I don't have one to show you. But we do have this. This is called housebreaking aid. And so, again, you can buy this at any pet store, and it just, again, smells like a toilet. So you just spray it wherever you want your dog to potty. And so the reason I don't like it as much is because I'm lazy, and it requires you to go out and spray this every day, multiple times a day, very frequently, because outside, the weather, the dew point, the humidity is going to wash this away. And so you need to keep reapplying it again and again and again. Whereas the potty post is infused with these pheromones. And so it's going to keep it stink for a really long time. And so those are my two options to get the ball rolling as far as teaching your dog where to potty specifically in the yard. So how to teach them. So you are only going to let them go outside on a leash in your hand. And this is only going to be temporarily, so don't freak out, but you have to teach them, right? Everything in life requires teaching, conditioning, learning, right? We all have routines, and sometimes our routines change, especially if you get a new job or you relocate. And so you have to put that time and effort in to develop proper, healthy routines in those new life-changing moments. So you're taking them out on a leash temporarily, so maybe for the first few weeks or so. And you're going to stand right by that potty post or right in the middle of that 12 by 12 area. And the reason it's 12 by 12 is because you need a 6-foot leash, and that's all they get. You stand right in the middle of that, and you get to pivot and turn around, but you don't get to take steps. You don't get to walk your dog anymore. This is their potty spot. They have 12 by 12 square feet to potty. That's plenty of space. And from there, you're going to wait until they actually eliminate. Now you're gonna have to learn your dog's routines, their potty routines if you haven't already, just because some dogs are, right after they eat, some dogs are immediate poopers. So they have to go outside and go number 2 right away. Some dogs may take 20 minutes, 30 minutes after they eat. And then some dogs, like my Mastiff, poop once a day, and that's in the morning. She eats at night. She eats 1 meal a day at night, and she poops in the morning. So learn your dog's routine so that when you go out to this potty area and they pee, because they're going to pee almost every time, they should pee almost every time, but then you don't have to wait 4 hours for them to poop if you know it's not their pooping time. So for us in the morning, Morgan would pee, and then we'd keep waiting until she pooped. And then after she pooped, that's when we take her leash off and we'd let her freely play, sniff, pick up sticks, whatever, eat dandelions, whatever she wants to do, but she must potty first in her potty spot. So keeping them on the leash until they eliminate, and then you can unleash them and they can play, sniff, etc. Once you let them off the leash, you don't necessarily have to stay outside with them. If you want to, cool. It's hot, and I love the South, but I don't want to stand outside and just watching my dog pee and poop. So you can go inside, but you do still need to watch them. So whether you watch them from outside or you want to watch them from inside your house, you need to watch them. You need to be close to that door, because if they start to do a potty dance or potty in a spot that's not their potty spot, you need to run out there and shoo them over to that spot that is their toilet zone. They only can potty in that toilet zone, and you must catch them in the act when they are not pottying in that potty zone so that you can embarrass them so they want to potty in that potty zone. Eventually, you are going to take your dog outside to go potty, and they're going to be leading you to that potty spot. If your dog doesn't know how to not pull on the leash, it's probably going to pull you to that spot. If your dog has been leash trained and it does not pull on the leash and it yields to leash pressure, it's going to be like prancing and dancing in front of you, like, this is the way we go. This is the way we go. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, because I can't pull you on the leash. When they get to that point where they know, okay, I need to go to my toilet, I need to eliminate, and then it's playtime. Then you can start letting them out without a leash. Again, you're going to have to be outside watching them for those first a few weeks, especially as soon as you open that door and let them out, just to make sure they are running directly to that potty zone. Once they eliminate, then they can, again, play freely. But you want to, again, supervision is key. It's one of those things that if you let your guard down too soon, your dog's just going to start going back to its old habit of peeing and pooping all over the yard. If you're just moving or you just relocated, fantastic. This is the best time to teach this in a brand new yard before your dog has developed years and years of bad toilet habits all over your yard. We personally do not have a potty zone that's 12 by 12 because the way our house is, we have 5 acres. So we have our front yard that is between the woods to the driveway. That's our potty zone. And then our backyard, we have like this little, oh goodness, maybe 15 or 20 foot by 15 or 20 foot patch of grass, this little square patch between the back patio and the pool, the fenced in pool area. So that's not a potty zone. That's where my kids play. That's where me and Eric play with the kids. We don't want to accidentally roll or step in something. So they're not a potty there. And then across the drive is our pond. And so we do have woods on both sides of that walkway, but there is a huge area of grass. Probably more so than that's in our front yard. But again, I don't want to have to watch my step or tell my guests to watch their step as they walk out to the pond to have a bonfire with us. So our rule is doggy business in the front, party in the back. And so our dog knows if we let her out the basement door, she knows to go all the way up the driveway to the front of the house. That's where she potties. And then she can come back and join us for the party, right? But that's what we have done. If you don't have that much land or that much yard space, or you just don't want your dog to potty all over, that's where having this 12 by 12 foot toilet comes in. The bigger your toilet, if you don't have clear boundaries like we do in the front yard, the harder it's going to be for your dog to remember those clear boundaries of what's an acceptable area and not an acceptable area. 12 by 12 is the perfect zone to have for your dog. So let's see. The other thing that's super important is if you have that 12 by 12 foot area, it is a smaller space. And so it's going to accumulate droppings a little bit faster, especially if you're feeding kibble, because poop does not break down and absorb into the earth as fast as raw fed stool does. So there's that. But you need to keep that clean, and you need to clean it regularly, because I don't know about you, I don't want to go potty in a clogged up toilet where there's already somebody else's potty, or even if it's my own potty, I don't want to go potty in it because it's broken. It's not right. It's not clean. It's not sanitary. Dogs are clean animals. And if their potty zone turns into a septic tank that's overflowing, then they're going to be like, nah, I can't potty here anymore. I need to go potty in the part of the yard you don't want me to because my zone isn't cleaned. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to train dogs to pick up their own poo. It just teaches bad habits. So we don't want to go there. But you have to, if you want to keep this protocol, you have to keep that area clean. So there's like the doggy dooley zones, which are like little compost bins that you can bury right outside of that little 12 by 12 foot area. And so as you scoop the poo, you can just literally toss it into this little in-ground compost thing that will break your dog's stool down, but it keeps that toilet area clean. And so you can really get a good routine that doesn't have to take you hours on end to help your dog maintain this habit, but you do have to have an active role in it, because ultimately you are the adult in the household and it's your responsibility. So, but those are my tips to help your dog learn how to potty in a specific spot of your yard, so it doesn't have to potty all over, which will help your yard from dying from all of the yellow spots. Goodness. And it'll relieve your concern of not allowing your dog to potty on the walks for fear of having your whole yard look like a dead zone. And it's well worth it. So I'm going to post in the link to probably an Amazon link to the Potty Posts, since I didn't have one to show you, a link to our previous videos of why you shouldn't let your dog potty on the walks, and raw feeding, why it's so important, and a link to my Primal Diet Raw ebook I made about the benefits of feeding raw, how to feed raw, and a link to that Google Sheets that you can literally plug in up to 3 or 4 dogs names, weights, and body type, and it will tell you precisely how much to feed of everything. And then the ebook that I have is going to tell you what you need. So you're going to need like a scale to measure and weigh these things and things like that. So it has everything you need to know and get to feed your dog raw. And so that's something I'm going to post in the comments as well. So I hope that answered your questions, Carol, or alleviated your concerns. Give it a try. Try some of these things. Try some from or some Wendy Volhart in the comments as well. And then just go down the list. If one doesn't work, try the next thing. Try the next thing. As far as kibble and supplements, if you feed raw, I know that's going to work. If you do the potty zone, you may have a dead grass area that's like 12 by 12 foot, but the rest of your grass is going to look beautiful. So that's my solution for you. I hope it helps. And if you have any questions or topics that you'd like me to address for you or a friend or a loved one, please post them in the comments because I love to talk about what you want to hear. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see y'all next week.